Yes, people, what's going on? Big up everybody that is waiting in the chat or that has been waiting in the chat patiently. Back again on your screens. I have been busy today. I was with Lee Gunner earlier on his channel, and also Terry Flew is over on the Football Terrace. But big ups to everybody that is waiting. And also, please do me a favor as you come in, smash that like button as you enter. And if you want to, make sure you do subscribe. We are on the road to 10K. Now, we have heard we seem to be getting breaking news about this situation with Chelsea, as you naturally would. It's a huge story. Chelsea are a huge club. But do you know what? Before I get into that, yeah, I actually had the whole artwork because when I'm on my ones, I usually have that little screen in the middle. But I decided to change my mind today because it's not as fun doing the live streams and I can't put up your comments on the screen. So I thought, yeah, we're just gonna go with something plain and simple. Little logo up there. Oh, bloody hell. Yep. Middle up. Yep. Yeah, right there. Right there. So that's how we're gonna roll today. But big up everyone waiting. I see a couple of familiar faces up in here. You get me, the Added Time podcast. Big up yourself. Make sure you support my brother over there. Princeton, I see you. Lenin Figueroa, Phil, I seen you. It's hard to remember so many names. Chris, I definitely remember you because of the watch alongs. If you jump on the watch alongs, so much easier to remember you because there's so much more time on the clock for me to remember. But I did also promise you lot that I will be doing an interactive live. Don't fear, this is not going to be the last live I'm going to be doing today. The interactive one will be a little later than normal. Well, not really later than normal. So I'm going to say about 8:30 we'll get cracking with the interactive. I thought I'd just go live on my ones before I do that. And yeah, man, definitely as promised, I will be leaving the space open for you lot for an extra amount of time. You get me? But yes, we are here. Ilias, I see you. Obviously, bruv. I don't forget the mods. Pick up the mods as well. Doing a good job every single time. You get me? Love from India as well. You, bruv. Big up yourself, bruv. Love from India. You get me? Big up India. Big up everyone. In fact, put up your flags up in the chat as well so I can big up every single one of your countries, bruv. Shane, man, sees you. I seen you in the other two live streams as well, bro. Don't think I didn't notice. But man, I can't just divert when I'm a guest. You get me? I gotta respect the platform, fam. But big up yourself. Shane, a serious supporter. But obviously, we are here to discuss the situation, fam. You get me? Todd Boehly, Chelsea fanatic. Are we doing a protest here in NYC for no Ricketts? If it needs to get that far, because yes, I am hearing. I just seen on quite a few of you are telling me, like, yeah, they've made it to the shortlist. But this is the thing. We're gonna come into that. We're definitely gonna discuss that. I might make it first before the Todd Boehly situation. I don't know. Let's make a decision. But I'm seeing the flags. India, obviously. I'm seeing. Oh, forgive me. My geography is terrible, bruv. Is that Norway? I hope it's Norway. My geography is dog shit. I can't even lie. And yeah, I broke the 3-minute barrier before I swore, so I got it right this time. Peru and the United States, come on. Canada, come on. All right, so yeah, Denmark. My apologies. Like I said, bruv, I didn't really listen in geography from like what year 8, year 9. It was for me. It was just a part back then. I weren't really on it. Our teachers just were not inspiring. But yeah, man, listen, the Ricketts situation, right? I'm gonna start with that because we can keep it quick and brief. But we heard last night that there was a possibility that they could be on the final shortlist. And remember, we need to emphasize it's not just them. Yes, there's a chance that them being on the shortlist is obviously a chance that they're going to get the club. But remember, it was also said that the Rain Group and obviously the board who are co-making this decision with the Rain Group have put them lower in the pecking order because of the controversy that has come out with obviously the racial language, the racial, like just the disgraceful things that they've said in general, what they said about the religion of Islam and all that kind of stuff. There's no place for them being in the club. But again, like if fans are really worried, if we're really worried, and when we're hearing reports that they could actually be hot contenders to buy it, then absolutely protests are encouraged everywhere. I don't know what the setup is like around the Rain Foundation in New York City, so it's easier said than done. then talking about arranging protests out there. And also, certain buildings in New York City are armed heavily, so we got to be strategic about that. But if there is one, I'll definitely be there, 1000%. If I'm not in London, I'll definitely be there, bruv. But I already know the people them in Stamford Bridge, the Chelsea fans in London, they're gonna turn up either way, bruv. We're not gonna have it. And I always come back to this reference. Remember the Super League? This will be times 10 because this is down to ownership. Because I said it in the last live stream. Once the pen has been lifted and the ink is dry, it is pretty much too little, too late. So we've got to get something done. Our voice is heard now. Speaking of, we're going to move on from the Ricketts family, and hopefully I'm talking about our future owners. Now, how do I feel in general about Todd Boehly and his consortium, aka the Todd Vies Consortium, taking over Chelsea? Out of the options that we have, obviously, I don't have much of a choice. You just got to assess at the options that are available. The Matthew Broughton situation, it seems a bit techie. Do you know what I mean? And the main emphasis of this whole sale was to get a sale done quickly. And it seems like the Boehly Vies consortium have everything backstage and arranged. You get me? They've come out, they've said, they're confident in dealing with the Premier League bodies, the governing bodies, the UK government. They've got everything put, they've got all the structure put where it needs to be. You understand? So that can facilitate a fast sale, and that is one of the most attractive things to the Rain Group and Roman Abramovich. But let's look into Mr. Todd Boehly. I did do a live stream. I touched on Mr. Todd Boehly a little bit and what we knew about him at the time. But yeah, it was just like I was saying, just like reports are coming out about them. The Boehly Group are understood to be confident that they could fly through the government and Premier League tests. But as reported by Telegraph Sport, the league could face complaints and challenges if it is confirmed that Harris and Blitzer are behind Broughton's attempt to buy Chelsea. So there's just that little stumbling block there for the Broughton situation, and if that indeed is true, I don't see it happening for them. Do you know what I mean? Todd Boehly's pretty much got a free run. I'm not too sure about the Ricketts situation we've spoken about. There's a whole movement, a whole hashtag against the Ricketts family, so it'd be very surprising if they do actually acquire Chelsea. But look, the things that we're looking at, obviously, at first is the stadium. Now, I bring up the stadium first because the amount of revenue that we are losing by not extending this stadium is ridiculous. So that is absolutely key. And any smart investor will be looking into that straight away, because I feel that is the main issue that we have at Chelsea. Obviously, we did have the plans to do it a couple of years before. Then Roman ran into the visa issues and so on and so forth. We had to put that on the back burner. But it's a good opportunity to start. But listen, to give us a little bit more confidence, granted, different country, granted, it's a different sport, Major League Baseball, but he has some experience in overseeing the renovation of stadiums. The Wrigley Field Stadium, he oversaw the $1 billion restructure of the stadium. So the redevelopment process there went pretty well. I mean, Todd Boehly, from the LA Dodgers fans and the Americans that I hear, he seems to be an ambitious investor who wants to win. And even still, like, look, here's an example of the man. Here's an example of the man, Mr. Todd Boehly. So I took a couple of snippets from Matthew Law's articles about Mr. Boehly, but this is what he said. Rather than sitting back Kroenke style and waiting for the money to roll in after beating the Arsenal owner to the punch on the Dodgers, so he was actually in competition with Kroenke to buy the Dodgers, and he had to overbid, but his ambition got him the club. Boehly signaled his intent to transform the team by, in one weekend, committing £123 million to buy 2 pitchers. Asked what a successful ownership would look like, he scoffed back, and please listen to this answer. Please listen to this answer. This is why, out of the bunch, I really want Todd Boehly to be the front runner. You're not really asking me that, are you? The more World Series we win, the more valuable a franchise it is, right? Now, you tell me in black and white what this brother's trying to say. You see what I'm saying? So the ambition to win is there. But again, I can see people are saying, Guni, listen, chill, relax. That's his record in MLB. That's his record over in America. Will it translate over to football? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But all I can go by is the history of this man in the previous sports that he has been in. And that is important, that he has had a sporting experience. And with the fans of the Dodgers, he seems to have a reasonable relationship with them. So you have to look at these things and say, listen, okay, if I'm basing it on anything, I'm basing it on his existing relationships with the current sporting club that he owns, which I feel is right to do. Quite a few of you are asking about the call-in show. I'm 1000% going to be doing that. I just decided I did want to go live on my ones for a little bit, for probably about 30 minutes or so. But definitely, we are going to be doing the call-in show. You will have the opportunity to give me your thoughts on the whole takeover situation. Let me know who you think are your favorites as the race is hotting up as days go by. You get what I'm saying? But obviously, Todd Boehly is not the only investor in this group. And also, we have to remember, we don't know how much of a percentage he is going to hold. He will be going in with two other investors. Hans-Jörg Wyss, a Swiss billionaire who is a donor to politically liberal and environmental causes in the United States. So he is quite the philanthropist. He is the founder and the former president and chairman of Sims Holding AG, a medical device manufacturer. His Wyss Foundation has more than $2 billion in assets. As of March 2022, Wyss has a network of $5.1 billion US dollars, according to Forbes. Having donated hundreds of millions of dollars to environmental causes, he has more recently increased his donations to groups promoting progressive causes. So that's the type of investor Hans-Jörg Wyss is. I didn't have too much information about the brother before this point, but that is who Hans-Jörg Wyss is. He is going to be part of the consortium, hence the Boehly Wyss Consortium, as it has been called. William Curtius, thank you very much for the super chat. Every prospective owner having to meet a certain criteria is great for us. Absolutely. That's what I've been saying. And just based on that point, we also have to remember that a safeguard has been put into that buy. So, for example, like the stadium is a non-negotiable. And I'm going to use this one loosely because I don't know how true this is, but I heard that there was a quote-unquote agreement that a certain amount of money was going to be injected into the first team during this takeover period as well. So if those are non-negotiables, then that safeguards us from owners who are just there really to be turning over profit and just leaving us to rot. So you get me? That's a good thing. So big up yourself for pointing that out. And the second part, if we were simply selling to the highest bidder, then I would worry. So yeah, a due diligence process is being done. Now, obviously, massive eyebrows have been raised with the addition of the Ricketts family to this quote unquote shortlist, which we still haven't seen. And apparently we were supposed to see it on Wednesday. So I don't know. Is this list a bag of hype? Is it just something that's going to sell papers? Is it something just keep the Chelsea fans on the hooks like myself? I don't know. But we're going to look into the third investor because it is not just the two of them. Jonathan Goldstein is the third person in this consortium. Whether there's any more people in this consortium, I don't know. But these are the main three that are being spoken about. Who is Jonathan Goldstein? He is the co-founder and CEO of the investment firm Kane International, who have assets under management worth $10.8 billion. Earlier this month, Kane agreed and established a joint venture to invest in UK student accommodation, planning to create a portfolio of around £1.5 billion. Kane is also chairman of the Jewish Leadership Council, the umbrella body of British Jewry's central organizations and charities. Additionally, he is a long-term business partner of Boehly. So him and Boehly do have a working relationship. Obviously, he's heavily involved in property development, which again is a very, very good look in terms of the development of Stamford Bridge, because I have reiterated before that having these relationships in construction is very, very important, because it could, it could give us better deals and better pricing in terms of the whole project. So, and obviously having somebody who's vastly experienced, who knows what they're doing, less things go wrong. So I'm encouraged by having somebody like that on the board. Goldstein left Guggenheim Partners in 2014 along with Boehly and another partner, Harry Silverman, to launch the new fund Kane, which Goldstein and Eldridge, which both in brackets, which Boehly is CEO and founder of, co-founded. So they do have a strong working relationship. So look, it's not like, so with this consortium, what we know so far is that Boehly, who is the front man of this, whether he's putting in the most money or not, again, I don't know. But Boehly, who's the front man of this, has got an existing working relationship with both Weiss and Jonathan Goldstein. So for them to be able to come to this agreement to take over Chelsea, for me, that in itself is quite a good look. And we also have to remember the fact that Boehly, he's had to wait another 3 years to make a bid for Chelsea. Are the people saying the list is out? So the list is out already. If the list is out already, Joey, send me a DM. I beg, yeah, send me a DM on Twitter so I can have a look at that list and I can read it out to the peoples, because I haven't seen the list just yet. Again, this is just breaking news all the time. Like sometimes when I'm live, the news just comes. You get me? But yeah, man, big up T Dot as well. I see you in the chat. Also, yeah, quite a few of you have an issue that Jonathan Goldstein is actually a Spurs fan. Now, listen, you've got to take your sports, you've got to take your Chelsea fan hat off and your business hat on, right? The fact that he's a Spurs fan should mean absolutely nothing to you. Anybody making this level of investment into any business should have no intentions of running it down to the ground. It would make no sense. It puts his reputation at risk. It puts his generational wealth at risk. It puts all of his hard work at risk. What sense does it make to be throwing hundreds of millions of pounds into a business if you just want to sabotage it? It makes no sense. Any businessman is going into business to make profit. Yeah, you got to think as well. Let's apply it to a smaller scale here. The players that play for Chelsea, let me break it down to you. The majority of them probably are not Chelsea fans. A lot of them might be Arsenal fans. Some of them might be City fans. Some of them might bloody well be Millwall or West Ham fans. This is how football works. Just because you don't support a certain team doesn't mean you have no business being involved in it. It don't matter. As long as you're in it for the right intentions. And for me, what will work well for him is if that club is run successfully. Yeah, and if it's run successfully, he's happy. The fans are happy. The football's good. Who's complaining? That's how I see it anyway. Honestly, that's how I see it anyway. I see the DM. Joey sent me a DM with the list. So this is from Absolute Chelsea. As per reports, Reign's final Chelsea takeover shortlist. Todd Boehly's consortium has made it. Sir Martin Broughton's consortium has made it. The Ricketts family have somehow made it, but I don't expect them to be favorites at this point. And Stephen Pagliuca. Who is this Stephen Pagliuca guy? I think, off the top of my mind, I think he has something to do with the Boston Celtics, I believe. And it might be one of the Atlanta teams or the Boston Celtics. One of the Americans, please let me know as well. Let me know what he's involved in. But I do know that he is involved in American sports. He does have part ownership, or he does own the team. But in terms of what I do know about, okay, so boom, yeah, right there. So is it that he owns both the Boston Celtics and Atlanta? Okay, so he's 55% owner of Atlanta. Right, again, so listen, respectfully, I don't have enough information on the guy. This is news to me, as you've seen, breaking news to me. I didn't know that the shortlist was out. So I'm not really going to talk too much. I'm not going to talk too much on this guy because I wouldn't be doing you a very good service, wouldn't be doing myself a good service either. I'm just going to sit here looking stupid. That's all I know. I will do research. I mean, his name obviously has to be significant enough to be able to make that shortlist. So definitely, we might even talk about it on the interactive. Maybe one of you callers, one of you in the chat can inform me on who this guy is. That might be. This is our community. You get me? It's our community. So if you feel that you've got information to relay, definitely jump on the interactive live later on, where I will be listening to your thoughts. I'm aiming to do that at about 8:30. 8:45-ish UK time, which will be about 4:30, 4:45-ish EST, New York time. I always refer that because that's currently where I am. But yeah, so the list is actually out. So Absolute Chelsea have tweeted it 2:44 p.m. over here Eastern time. So just under an hour ago, we got this news. So that's what I mean. Like, it's breaking news all the time. So big up the people that have DM'd me And the people that are tagging me, I see you. Devon Hislop, I see you tagging me in the thing. I've got someone else in the DMs as well. Shahani Siddharth, big up yourself. Chelsea Blues as well. I see you. Yeah, man. So look, it's going to be an interesting next few days, but I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling out of that bunch, it's going to be Todd Boehly in that consortium, because for me, it's the previous intent to buy the club. It's not his first time round expressing interest. And to me, it smells like it's not an opportunistic scenario as much as it is for the rest of the investors. Now, it might be, but just for the pure fact that he's shown interest before, this is the most genuine bid for me out of the ones that are remaining. And obviously, everything that I have said to you about Todd Boehly, his history with the Dodgers, his willingness to win, if he can translate that and bring that to Chelsea, that would be absolutely fantastic. I would love that. I've already spoken about Matthew Broughton and what I think about that whole situation. He has indeed made the shortlist, but there is that potential conflict of interest with Josh Harris and David Blitzer. It remains to be seen as to whether that will be an obstacle for him or not. Obviously, Todd, for me, looks to be favourite. I'm not trying to discard anybody else, but how it's looking, it just makes sense. He's got everything in order. He's got his consortium in order. Everybody seems to be pulling in the correct direction. He's come out. He said he's willing to work with anyone in the government, the Premier League, to get this deal done. He's able to facilitate a fast deal, so it really makes sense. The other three may be able to, but it seems like two of them that we do know of, I don't know about Mr. Paguli or whatever his name is, have obstacles in front of them. The Ricketts obviously being the worst one. We do not want them. Hashtag no to Ricketts. Make sure if you're on social media, you're hashtagging the shit out of that. We can never, ever sleep on that. We don't want them to think that they're forgiven. They came out with this whole PR thing with, I believe, it was a spokesman from like one of the groups of the Nation of Islam that gave them that they're backing over here in the United States, still not having it. Keep them far, far away from our club. And it's not even. And you know what as well? I was corrected earlier. The hashtag no to Ricketts is not just down to their racial language and to them acquiring Chelsea. It's also a protest to the Chicago fans back home. I believe it's the Chicago Cubs back home who have been run to the ground. They've been run terribly. So the hashtag is not just for Chelsea and all of the controversies around. It's several issues. They seem to be riddled with problems, and we don't want them near the club. Exeter 1985. Thank you very, very much for the super chat. Guni, I was surprised to hear that the Saudis, who we thought had unlimited finance, were the ones who were rejected for not having the funding. Right, so this is what I actually heard about the SMG. I put my hands up and I'll say this. I thought it was going to be the stereotypical Saudi kind of money that was going to be flowing into the club, when in all actuality, it did come out that they were looking to take loans against the club and fund it that way. And obviously, that's not what we want. Listen, are we excluding that possibility from the rest of the owners? The truth is, I don't know. Nobody knows until they're sitting in the hot seat and running the club. That's the fact. Everything that I'm saying is conjecture. Even the history of Todd Boehly and what he's done with the Dodgers. Do I think he's going to translate it to Chelsea Football Club? I think he'll do his best. I definitely do think he'll do his best. But the SMG group, apparently, we dodged the bullet with that one. So big up Exeter 1985 for bringing up that. But quite a few of you in the chat are saying Todd Boehly or bust. Todd Boehly or bust. Yeah, exactly. No Arab money. Rain Group did us dirty. Well, so what I'm saying is not true. I don't know. I don't know. Well, listen, again, that's what I heard. I haven't read it anywhere concrete, but that's what was going round. Yo, some people just can't like separate politics and football, bro. You got to learn how to do that. Just because I support Chelsea, I've got no say in who the flipping owner is going to be or what the owner has done. How are you going to hold me accountable or anybody else accountable for that matter? I know I should ignore it, but like, I'm not going to treat certain people hostile. I'm just starting the conversation. Listen, every single billionaire in the world has got their controversies. It happens, and if you start nitpicking at certain things, you're not going to enjoy nothing. Yeah, and unfortunately, these people at the top are the ones that can afford to run these type of institutions. Chelsea Football Club, these clubs that we support, and none of them are clean. Do you know what I mean? But like, what can we do? What can we do? It's Chelsea that I love. You get me? I'm grateful. Do I hate Roman Abramovich? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, fam. It's not one of those ones. It's because of what he's done for the club. Everything else outside of that, I'm not involved in that. But in terms of Chelsea, it is what it is. I just thought I'd say that. But the Added Time podcast is saying if Ricketts gets the club, then Chelsea need to throw away games. Ooh, that I'm not sure about. No UCL, no FA, not top four is still not as bad as having that racist run our club. Well, that's the thing. How far are you willing to go? Do you want to see Chelsea go down to the championship until the point is made, or what? Or do we start now and make sure that they don't get into power in the first place? Obviously, Rain Group have the power, the board have the power, but still, us as fans, it's very, very important that we do make noise. But yeah, man, quite a few people are saying in Boehly, well, this one is in Boehly we trust. Yeah, exactly. We have 5 Muslims on our team. That's why we don't want somebody who has been as disparaging as they, or well, family members that have been disparaging as they have been towards religious groups and certain races of people. We don't want that at all. Big up yourself, Noah Mitchell. Love you, bro. You and Eunice are the goats. Thank you very much. Always keeping us up to date. Thanks. I enjoy it, man. Honestly, I enjoy doing this live stream with you lot. I enjoy interacting with you. Honestly, this is the whole reason as to why I started the channel. Do you know what I mean? But big up everybody that's here. And as for the like, because you know what? I'm not going to go on too long because I do also want to preserve some of my thoughts for the interactive live that's coming probably in about an hour from now. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you want to join in. I'm literally going to be posting a link in the chat. So you lot just click it and it is first come, first serve. Whoever I do see there first will get there. The rules are you have to have your camera on and you must be respectful as well. Those 2 rules broken, you come off the ting. And if you're super disrespectful, you can never come on. You get me? I'm just going to block your thing so you can never jump back on. But yeah, definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing you lot jump in, give me your thoughts. Depending on how many people there are, I might not be able to keep you as long as I'm usually able to keep people. So we're gonna have to see. But to everybody that's jumped on, thank you very much, man. Really appreciate your support. Love seeing you lot in the chat. Make sure you smash that like button if you are new. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And yes, I know I haven't even gone for half an hour, but this is just a prelude to the interactive call-in, just giving you, just sparking the minds for conversations for later on in it, just preparing the people then. But definitely cannot wait to see you lot, cannot wait to interact with you lot later on. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please make sure you do stay safe and bless up. See you